So we saw the neutralization and titration as the process for making salts, preparation of salts. We go to the next part, and that is simple displacement reaction. I hope you remember what is a simple displacement reaction. Simple thing, a stronger metallic part to displace a weaker part as per the reactivity series. So as per the reactivity series, what is going to happen? Anything which is above hydrogen can replace hydrogen from the acid. So that exactly is what we are going to use, that acid plus active metals are going to give me salt plus hydrogen gas. So this property of the acid, that when it reacts with active metals, it is going to give me salt plus hydrogen gas, is what we are using as the third method, that is simple displacement method. So in simple displacement method, all those metals which can easily take or replace hydrogen from an acid can be taken. So that's why we are going to take all the metals like aluminium, then magnesium, zinc and iron. So these are the ones which we'll be using for this particular purpose. So accordingly we have over here that active metal plus acid is going to give me salt plus hydrogen gas. So this is what we are having as a general formula. Active metal plus acid give me salt plus. So we can take an example. Let's take Al plus, we'll take over here HCl, we'll get over here AgAlCl3 plus H2. Okay, so we need to take the LCM. So this will be 3, this will be 6 over here, and then 2 and 2. Yeah, that will be 2Al plus 6 HCl. We'll give you this one. Okay, we can take the example from here. We got Zn plus H2SO4 will give me ZnSO4 plus H2. Okay, we can have another one which is like Fe plus 2HCl will give me FeCl2 plus H2. So these are the examples of the one. You can note over here that all the salts which are formed over here are soluble. Okay, all the salts which are formed over here are soluble. So simple displacement reaction can take place only for soluble salt. So this is going to be a soluble. So if it is a soluble salt, then you can use the simple displacement reaction to produce that particular salt in this manner. Okay, so if you want to make PbSO4, yes, you cannot use this method because PbSO4 is insoluble, hence it will be not possible to get such a kind of a reaction over here. So that's why we have the examples will be FeSO4, FeCl2, ZnSO4 and MgCl2 are the examples which are given over here for active metals. We next move is the direct combination or synthesis method. So we are just having a direct combination or synthesis method. That means A plus B giving me AB directly. We take FeCl, FeCl3. No, it will be like that. So we have a metallic part, a non-metallic part giving rise to a salt. So that's the fourth one, is direct combination reaction. Okay, so direct combination examples. So the direct combination will be the one which will be having both soluble as well as insoluble salts, but normally they will be binary salts. What is binary salts? Made up of only two types of atoms like FeS, FeCl3, ZnS, things like that. So it is only two elements combined to form one compound. That kind of things can be done with the help of this method. So accordingly we have the first one, let's take the iron. So it is 2Fe plus Cl2 is going to give me FeCl3. So remember this thing. This is ferrous, this is ferric. Ferric can be formed, that is higher valency. Higher valency kind of salts can be formed by direct combination, whereas lower can be formed by simple displacement. Okay, so remember this thing, that ferrous can be formed only by simple displacement method, whereas ferric can be formed with the help of direct combination. So that's something which you need to remember, that Fe will be in such a form that it will be FeCl3 over here. The next could be Fe plus S giving me FeS, Zn plus S giving me ZnS. Right? So this way we are having the different kinds, and in this case you see that this one is chloride, which is soluble, but you know that the sulfides are insoluble. So if you are making any sulfide you are making, except for Na, K and NH4, which you never need not be doing with this method, you are going to get an insoluble salt. So you can prepare both soluble as well as insoluble salts using the direct combination method. So that is the direct combination method which is used for iron chloride, that is nothing but iron 3 chloride, aluminium chloride, iron sulfide, zinc sulfide and lead sulfide. These are examples given to us, whereas the sulfides are insoluble where the chlorides are soluble. So that gives us the fourth method, that is direct combination or synthesis method. We now move to the fifth part. The fifth part is the one which is double decomposition, that is precipitation reaction. See, neutralization was also a double decomposition reaction, but in that case we got a salt and water and we use acid and base, whereas now what you are going to do is you are going to use two salts to give you a third salt and a fourth salt. So basically two salts giving you two salts, right? But such that the two salts what you are taking will be soluble, but what you will be getting is one soluble, one insoluble. Okay, so that's why precipitation, because insoluble salt which is prepared will be forming a precipitate. So we have over here the fifth one is double decomposition. So the double decomposition reaction will be for soluble salt plus soluble salt giving me a soluble salt plus an insoluble salt, which is nothing but the precipitate. So the double decomposition what we are having is in the form of precipitate. So that's a precipitate kind of double decomposition reaction, and hence what the type of the salt which will be formed will be all insoluble salts. It will be all insoluble salts which will be prepared by this particular method. So this method is used for producing insoluble salts from the soluble salts. So we are using two soluble salts to form an insoluble salt, out of which the two soluble salts will produce two another salts, out of which one will be soluble and other will be insoluble. The insoluble salt will settle down as a precipitate. So that's how we have the reaction over here. The first one is given as PbNO3 twice plus NaCl. Okay. So we see over here, nitrate is strong, sodium is strong, chlorine is weaker than nitrate, and Pb is weaker than Na. So that's why Pb and Cl will combine together and Na and NO3 will combine together to give you the soluble salt will be in all NAs are soluble. That's why it will be NaNO3, which is a soluble salt, and the resultant will be PbCl2, which is going to be the insoluble salt. Okay, you can balance it by putting a 2 here. So accordingly, you see that this is a precipitate, very important to mark this arrow downwards. Okay, the downward arrow is very important over here because it gives you the precipitate side, and this thing has got a white colored PPT. It's a white PPT what you are going to get as the end product over here. Okay, we can take another example. CaCl2 plus, we are taking Na2CO3. So carbonate weak, chlorine strong, Na strong, Ca weak. So weak together, strong together to give you 2 NaCl plus CaCO3 as a precipitate, because we know that all carbonates are going to be, see, we saw that over here that all carbonates are going to be insoluble. So that's why we see that carbonate is insoluble, hence we got calcium carbonate as the insoluble precipitate over here. We can use another one, which is ZnSO4 plus NH4 twice CO3 to give me as ZnCO3 plus NH4 SO4. Okay, twice SO4. Right? Sorry, I made a mistake by writing over here. It is NH4 twice SO4 because this is the soluble part, and ZnCO3 as the precipitate over here. You can take zinc nitrate and sodium carbonate also, right? Now see okay, let me write this thing and then I'll explain you something again important. ZnNO3 plus Na2CO3 giving me NaNO3 plus ZnCO3 precipitate. Again 2 will be the thing over here, and PbNO3 twice plus Na2SO4 giving me 2NaNO3 plus PbSO4 precipitate. Here a very important kind of observation needs to be done, and that is what kind of salt to be used to give me the resultant one. Okay, one thing is clear. Suppose I want zinc carbonate. Okay, I want zinc carbonate and I have got zinc sulfate. If over here, see, I want a carbonate. Okay, let's see this way. I have got zinc sulfate. I want a carbonate, so carbonate definitely required over here with something over here, which should give me a ZnCO3. This is what I want. Now this, suppose I take over here Na2CO3, what would happen? You will note that the reaction will not take place at all. Why would that not take place? Because see over here, one second. Yeah. So over here you can see that carbonates over here are strong, are going to be, cannot be displaced. See, Na2CO3. One second. Right. You can see over here, carbonate over here is a weak one. It will go with the weak one. That is why this will travel from here to here. But if I take over here something weaker than Zn over here, then it is not going to displace. The displacement would take place only by a, see, this is, if this is weak, this has to be strong. So this over here is strong and weak. So accordingly, it will be strong with strong and weak with weak. The reaction should be such, a double decomposition reaction should be such that one compound should be of a strong and weak and another should be also of a strong and weak. So accordingly, both strong will come together, one strong metal and one strong non-metal will come together to give you this. See, NaNO3 is Na strong, NO3 strong. Pb and SO4. So again, with comparison to the reactivity series, we know that Pb is weaker than Na and accordingly this is Pb is weak and SO4 is weak compared to nitrate. Accordingly, we get a compound of weak metal non-metals and this is strong metal non-metal. Got it? So this is how we are going to also frame some another equations in case you are asked to make some another salts in the same manner. So we need to remember that whenever we are taking the compounds, this is normally going to be much more important for you when you are having the questions based on practical chemistry, wherein they will tell you to convert a particular salt into some another form. So they may tell you that, okay, convert PbNO3 to PbCO3, okay, PbNO3 to PbSO4. So I don't know this, I don't know this. I just know that I want to convert this to this. So I need to use somewhere over here. I know that I need an SO4 here, so I'll use an SO4. And then I want that NO3 should travel here. So that's why I need to take a stronger thing which could displace over here. So that's why it will be Na2SO4 which is to be used. Okay. It needs a good amount of practice to go on reading many such equations, and you'll come to know that, okay, how this thing has happened. But main concept should be very clear in your mind that you are using a weak over here and a strong non-metal to have a strong metal and a weak non-metal. So the weak non-metal will go with the weak metal and the strong non-metal will go to the strong metal, forming a strong and weak kind of salts. Okay. Apart from this, you can also prepare insoluble salt from another insoluble salt. So if I want to prepare insoluble salt from another insoluble salt, I'll just erase a part of this. So if I want to prepare an insoluble salt from an insoluble salt, then first of all, I will have to convert that insoluble salt into soluble part. Like for example, if I want to prepare, let's say PbCO3, okay, PbCO3 is insoluble, we know the carbonates are insoluble. So I want to prepare PbCO3 and I want to use, sorry, it will be this way, and I want to prepare PbCO3 and I want to use PbCl2. I know that PbCl2 is insoluble in cold water but soluble in hot water. So definitely we are considering only cold water here. So we see that PbCl2 is insoluble, and so preparation of that will take place. So we are going to take PbO. First of all, we are going to take PbO, and so we have here PbO plus HNO3 will give you PbNO3 twice plus H2O, and PbNO3 twice plus NaCl will give you PbNO3 plus PbCl2. So we are making PbCl2, sorry, it is that way, the PbO to PbCl2. PbO insoluble, PbCl2 insoluble. I want to prepare it. So what I'll do is that first of all, I'll say PbO, I am going to react with the acid. So PbO plus 2HNO3 will give me PbNO3 twice plus H2O, because this is acid plus base gives you salt plus water. So this is definitely going to be formed because of the acidic property. So PbNO3 is formed. Now PbNO3 is, all nitrates are soluble, so this is going to be soluble. So this nitrate which is soluble, now I can react it with any chloride to give me the required thing. So I'm going to take a chloride over here. So chloride can be NaCl. I took 2 NaCl to give me Pb, or first of all to give me NaNO3 plus PbCl2. Okay, so this is 2 NaNO3. Got it? This will be the precipitate which is formed. So I can see that from a insoluble PbO, I prepared a insoluble PbCl2 by first converting into a soluble nitrate, and then from the nitrate I converted into PbCl2. Similarly, if we want to preparation of PbSO4, which is insoluble, from PbCO3, so PbCO3 to PbSO4, the same process is exactly the same. Again, we will take an acid which would react with a carbonate. What will happen when acid reacts with carbonate? Same thing, metallic oxide plus salt plus water plus carbon dioxide. So it will going to be PbCO3 plus HNO3, right? PbCO3 plus HNO3 will give me H2 over here. So it is going to give me PbNO3 twice plus H2O plus CO2. Again, this PbNO3 twice which we are having is going to react with, now what do I want? I want PbSO4. So here what I'll take? I'll take a sulfate. Sulfate of what? A stronger metal. So it will be PbNaSO4. Okay, I will be taking, PbNa2SO4. So that will give me over here. Now this is, yeah, balancing is done. So 2NaNO3 plus PbSO4. This will be a precipitate. Got it? So this is how we are going to get a insoluble salt from a insoluble salt. Only thing is, it's a two-step method. First of all, you are going to convert the insoluble salt what you have got. We reacted with nitrate, or we reacted with an acid, which is could be a nitrate, and convert it into a salt of nitrate, and then reacted with another kind of a salt to give you the required insoluble salt. So another example is to convert preparation of PbCl2 from PbCO3. So a chloride is going to be formed from carbonate. So again the same thing, you are taking a nitric acid, PbCO3 plus nitric acid will give you PbNO3 twice plus carbonate hai to kya dega? H2O plus CO2. So nitrate what we have got, we are going to react again with NaCl to give you PbCl2 plus NaNO3. PbCl2 will be the precipitate. So in this way we can see we have discussed the different methods by which we can prepare the different salts over here. So we can just recap that thing quickly so that we can stop this video. So the first one is neutralization reaction. In a neutralization reaction, this is the reaction which is going to be taken place where we want to use an insoluble base and an acid. Neutralization reaction in which insoluble base is going to be taken is this method, that is insoluble base plus acid to give me salt plus water. The salt which is going to be produced over here will be a soluble salt. So those soluble salts which are produced from insoluble bases are going to be using neutralization reaction. The second is titration reaction. The titration reaction or neutralization reaction by titration is the one in which you are using a soluble base and an acid to give you salt plus water. So when you are using any particular salt which is, we are making any particular salt which is of sodium, potassium or ammonium, you are going to use this particular method of titration. So we are going to have sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide or ammonium hydroxide as the base to give you the salts of, plus the acid will give you the salt plus water. The third one is simple displacement reaction, which is working on the principle of the property of the acids, that acid react with active metals to give you salt plus hydrogen gas. So active metals, that will be like iron, zinc, magnesium, they are going to react with the acid to give you magnesium chloride or magnesium sulfate, and hydrogen gas is going to be released. Again, these are the salts which are soluble salts. The third one are the direct combination or synthesis reaction in which metallic ion and non-metallic ion are going to be combined directly, A plus B giving you AB. So that particular method is going to be done only for binary kind of salts. So that's why you will be forming the things like chlorides or sulfides are going to be done with this particular method. So it will be like iron plus chlorine giving you iron chloride, iron plus sulfide, sulfur will giving you iron sulfide. These examples are there where you can produce both soluble as well as insoluble salts by this method. Remember, ferric, that is the higher iron, is going to be produced by the method of synthesis, whereas the lower iron, that is Fe, ferrous, is prepared by simple displacement. Finally is the double decomposition reaction, and is precipitation reaction in which you are using the property that a soluble salt with another soluble salt giving me another third soluble salt and an insoluble salt. So here there is a precipitation reaction and also double decomposition reaction taking place, in which the stronger will be reacting with the strong, getting combined to the stronger, and weaker will be, so Na strong, NO3 strong, and Pb weak, Cl weak compared to this two. Accordingly, we will get NaNO3 and PbCl2. PbCl2 is a precipitate, hence it is a precipitation reaction, which is a kind of double decomposition reaction. We can also produce insoluble salts from another insoluble salt. So for that particular thing, it's a double step, two-step method, wherein you are first going to convert the salt which is given to you into a soluble salt by adding acid to it, because you know that that particular kind of a thing like PbO plus acid will give you salt plus water, or PbCO3 plus acid is going to give me salt plus water plus carbon dioxide. So when you are using any kind of a substance which is insoluble salt, you are first going to add acid to it to give you a soluble kind of a salt, and then that soluble salt is going to be reacted with another salt to give you the resultant not insoluble salt. So this is the preparation of salts. Now in the next video we will be taking up, that is the next time when you do this thing, we will be taking up the preparation of specific salts, that is by the methods which I use. Of course there is not too much of a detail, it's a very simple kind of procedures which are going to be there. So we should be able to complete that thing in the next time, and also we'll see certain general properties of the salts like the water of crystallization, deliquescence, efflorescence, hydrolysis, and so certain things of like the hydrolysis of salts. These will be seen in the next lecture. So that's about acid-base salts for this time.